Hi, this is my second video about a fueling problem in my Phase 2 Renault 5 GT Turbo, which is seriously leaning out and losing power at high boost. A lean mixture can be seen on an AFR that I fitted inside the car. Right, since my first video I fitted a new fuel pump which came in this box, which was uprated, and this is the old pump that I've taken out. It's a bit smaller than the new one, and the new one's going to deliver more pressure at higher boost. Right, again, as before, I've rigged up the same test, and it's to compare the fuel pressure to the carb, an actual increase in boost pressure applied. This test I've managed to do without running the engine. As in my first video, I fitted a gauge to the carburetor supply pipe, which is fed from the fuel pressure regulator, and this gauge is on the right as you look at it, with a 0 to 30 psi range. I've also again teed a gauge to the small boost pipe, which sends the boost pressure signal to the regulator as it sees it in the lobster created by the turbo. I've hooked it up to a compressor to simulate the boost pressure as I'm not running the engine, and this is seen on the left gauge with a 0 to 60 psi range. Okay, the new uprated fuel pump is now fitted, and to run it I've hot-wired it to a switch so that I don't have to run the engine. Right, I'm going to turn the fuel pump on now. Right, here goes. It's on, and with no boost it's showing 3.5 psi, which is a little bit better than before. I'm now going to put some boost pressure on using my compressor. I'll start at 5 psi, if I can get it down to there. Okay, at 5 psi the pump is running at 9 psi, which is good. Turn it up to 10 psi of boost. At 10 psi of boost it's showing, let's have a look, 14.5 psi. Next I'll try it at 15 psi boost. .15 psi boost. It's running about 18 psi on the fuel. Now up to 20. Actually I'll try it at 22, which is my maximum boost. At 22 psi I'm getting 26 or 27 psi of fuel pressure. I don't go much higher. I'll try it 25 psi of boost. It's pumping out looking like 28 psi of fuel pressure. That's good. So now I'm always getting more fuel pressure than boost pressure, and that means hopefully I'll never run lean again. I've kept the original pressure regulator. It's a simple device. All it does is when boost pressure goes up, it shuts off the return to the fuel tank, therefore putting the pressure up as the boost goes up. So the results of this new pump is always higher, and that's what you'd expect it to be. The final test will be running on the car, which is off the road at the minute, but we'll in the next few days it'll be back on the road, and I'll do the road running test to see if my problem's been solved. Thanks for looking.